Well, today we should be mindful of entities competing that are effectively state-owned or parastatal enterprises where they're not as sensitive to meeting marginal cost concerns. Although we in Europe may differ on market practices, we're both market economies. Japan is a market economy. Our other friends and allies are market economies. So non-market economies that can price under marginal cost should be in a different basket, first of all. And then when we look at them, we have to say, well, what are the inducements that are being offered and how might we counter them? I think one of the ways we do is we really revisit the World Trade Organization. We made a decision to admit China into the WTO, and they frankly haven't lived up to it. I don't think it's silly at all to think about diversifying away from China to have alternatives, whether it be Mexico or Vietnam or Indonesia or other places, diversifying supply chains to get more resiliency. Certainly the experience of COVID teaches us that we should do that.
Most effective way of providing or counter the China-Russia package deal is to provide a tailor-made support for the developing countries. They often have quite different views on space. They are not just only want to do space for the national pride or national prestige. They have more practical interest. They are more eager to learn, and you have to provide incentives and you have to provide the services to satisfy these demands. And I think this is possible for the more flexible approach, more open and free and more market-oriented approach rather than the government strategy-oriented way to, let's say, here's the package deal, take it or leave it kind of approach.
And I think that's a very difficult thing. One of the ways that can be looked at in this context is, can the major Indo-Pacific powers and others come together in creating certain technology coalitions so that they can extend effective alternatives to Chinese and Russian models of cooperation in a sense. So if there may be the Quad countries or a Quad plus other countries involving France or involving somebody else, can we form a technology coalition that would essentially manufacture small-scale satellites for these countries, for the emerging spacefaring powers? Or can we extend assistance in terms of training, share satellite data with these countries? So what kind of partnerships can we form in an effective manner so as to counter the Chinese and Russian space cooperation partnership models, in a sense, putting in additional financial resources and human resources in order to be able to effectively counter, because otherwise it's going to be on paper